Cool. So basically, we're going to do some individual shots down here. Honestly, you guys like put really good outfits on. So like you look perfect with the space. So we're just going to do like some micro individuals in some of this seating and yeah, and then we'll do group shot upstairs in the clubhouse. Yeah, I think this is gonna look so cool. And I don't know if you guys got to look at the mood board or the inspo, but like Harbison's Dairy Steps is where we're gonna like kind of try to pull off like one of those group shots. It kind of gives the brownstone type of vibe. And
So we do mood boards for every project,
there's a
correct?
mood board for everything,
Okay.
yeah. Mood board for the shoots, mood board for the client.
Gotcha.
Mood board for things I'm trying to manifest.
Dig it.
Visualization just makes the execution even better. Floats out of your brain into someone else's, and then they make it happen.
That's real shit. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, world? I'm Kamal DJ Mal Morel, DJ, entrepreneur, creator, and visionary from Philadelphia. I've always been driven by music, art, and culture and how they exist together, and it's always something that I wanted to show in my work. Along my journey as a creative, I've been introduced to incredible artists with unique stories. So I decided to shed some light on these amazing individuals who inspire me and who help to shape contemporary culture. This is In Concert. Zindzi Harley is a dynamic curator, creative director, and artist hailing from Nashville and has helped to shape the creative landscape of Philadelphia. As the founder of Zindzi, a magazine and creative agency built for a new generation of visionaries, she's redefining how art, fashion, culture, and storytelling intersect. So Zindzi, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. You are an amazing curator, creative director, and I think it would be helpful to know what your upbringing was like and how you came to be in the spaces that you are right now.
I moved a lot growing up. I originally was actually born in Louisville, Kentucky. From there, I moved to Nashville. I went to a fine arts high school in Nashville called Nashville School of the Arts. And I feel like that's where my creative journey really started. Then I ended up going to the University of Kentucky. And I studied arts administration there, and I did a minor in art history. That whole study of art that I experienced there it really kind of led me into knowing that I wanted to be a curator. I had like incredible art history professors that were super inspiring, and they really cared about the field. Even more than that, like during college, I was sitting in class one day and I had applied for this casting call for a brand called Hollister.
Yeah.
I get this email, they're like you got picked in this like national casting call. Do you want to fly to LA in a couple weeks and like shoot this campaign? And that ended up like lasting several years of me flying back and forth from LA or like Mexico and all these places shooting these campaigns. I barely got through college, honestly, like doing that. I would be like telling my marketing professor, I'm like, yo, I'm marketing right now. So I made it out of college, thank God. And I was like, well, I want to be a curator, so I need to apply for my master's. This is where we're gonna do some group shots in this clubroom area.
Nice.
I think we should switch up the configuration. I actually would like to see you in the booth, and then maybe like grab a book or something and then have you standing instead and kind of leaning to the side of one side of the booth.
So, like here?
We're gonna switch it up now and do like a group shot with you three. So pick one of these three like seating. Let's eat it up, guys. Okay.
What was the experience like the first time on like a set, and like what sort of challenges did you face, and sort of how did you overcome like certain challenges, the learning curve that you had to go through?
It definitely was challenging sometimes, but just a lot of the nuances of the business, I think, were things that I had to kind of like pick up on quickly. I was one of the few Black people that worked with brands like this, and even just the comments people would leave on like content or like things that they would say, because the face of the brand for a long time had, it's an American brand. It was predominantly white. you have natural hair or like, you're just kind of having to navigate some of that. So it was a good exposure, I think, to the industry that I work in now, because I really got to see how you can manifest like a creative vision and all the different moving parts that it takes, right? Like between production and somebody who just has a vision for this. And it requires a lot to like make something like that happen. So I got to do a lot of really incredible campaigns with people like Khaled and Noah Cyrus, Miley Cyrus' little sister. And then honestly, just a lot of really dope models that have like are just working with the most incredible brands now.
Fast forward to relocating, moving to the East Coast. How did you find your way to the East Coast, and what was that process like, integrating yourself into spaces on this side of the country?
I always wanted to be a city girl.
So Zindzi, what's it like being back in the city now?
So good, so good. I love Philly, as much as like people try to draw you away with the allure of like other cities and like a larger marketplace, I think is the typical conversation that people are having. Like, oh, well, you could go to New York, you could go to LA, but I don't know. It's just something about the community. Well, something about the community that you've built and like, staying close to that is very important to me. But also I feel like no matter where I go in the world, there's other people from Philly there, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is just a really good place to dwell, and there's like a lot of inspiration here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so happy to be back. And I think finally, since it's getting warmer, like we're truly like a seasonal city.
Yeah.
Because during those colder months, I feel like everybody's super locked in.
Yeah.
There's always something still going on, but it's really beautiful to see, like, when the sun comes out, everybody starts like pulling out what they've been working on, but it's just really cool. So
yeah. What does it mean to be a curator?
I feel like I get asked that question all the time, or more specifically, like, what is a curator?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all curators. The slogan for Zindzi is for the curator in all of us. I feel like every day we wake up, we curate our lives, right? Whether it's the music you like to listen to or what you like to put on, or the way you design your space at home, or just the way you live your life. Lifestyle is so much a part of the genres of things that you can curate. But for me, I just feel like a curator is somebody that really advocates for artists, creatives, and it doesn't even have to be a creative industry, but any industry that you really advocate for and are working in to create opportunities for folks to be exposed to any type of like material that can educate them, inspire them, because a lot of people just don't feel welcome, in space sometimes. So I think that's also a part of the job, is to really make people feel like they're meant to be there.
I do want to ask about like Zindzi and how that's come to be. You mentioned the idea behind it. Can you talk more about like, you wanted to make it happen and you did your own thing. So talk to me about more.
Oh
about
my
that.
gosh, Zindzi is, I always describe it as a labor of love. It was truly like a passion project that I think just like kind of grew a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
Zindzi is a digital and print publication that focuses on uplifting creatives of color and connecting the East Coast to the international scene. So I had told a friend of mine that I really wanted to start something, and he's a designer. So just a couple weeks later, he hits me up and he's like, here's these files, like I made these logos for you. I look at them and I'm like, these are so dope. Like, I didn't even have a name for it yet, but he's like, you should like call it Zindzi. It really was a reflection of my community, my network. The curation of my social media has been the force behind starting Zindzi. And it was like, how can I make my Instagram story live beyond 24 hours? That was the overall goal, right? Because after the 24 hours, I'm just like, oh, when am I going to get something else like hot to share with people again? So I felt like a magazine was just the best way to do that. Playing with social media and making it like connect to the real world is the most important thing to do, because it's inspiring, and you don't want people to just get inspired and sit online all day. You want them to get inspired and go out and do something. So
Yeah, no, I think it was amazing. Like the conversation we had when you mentioned that you were about to create the project was really like eye-opening, because I grew up on like Loving Magazine, Vibe Magazine, Double XL, Source, but also like other publications, Jet, Ebony, all those other things, where we actually saw ourselves in different ways. And I think to see that happening now, and for you to have sort of like the influence that you do and using it in a way that is uplifting others is really dope.
So I think it could be dope to honestly like see two people like,
Are there,
yeah.
Are there phones in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's very chic. Very, very chic. Love that.
Yeah.
Looks like we're in the journey room. You heard? Okay, your turn, Saeed.
Minor.
We'll have you cocoa butter smooth in the final. Those are so good.
And I like.
I love that. You didn't come to play no games.
Do you ever think about legacy when you're creating the work that you are with like some of your projects, like longevity wise, or I don't want to say like things are just for that moment, but are you ever thinking about like the lasting effect of beyond 24 hours, like intentionally?
Yeah, I think I do think about legacy, but I don't think I think about it maybe in like the sense of like having so much pressure on myself as like, I don't know, like an icon, like that maybe is the first to do something, right? There's been so many people of color that have done like amazing things before me. I just think that I have a visionary approach to anything that I do, right? So that requires me to think more long term. And it also requires me to kind of think about how things can grow and expand and be even more impactful. Whenever I start doing something, I just think like, how big can this get? And a lot of times people are like, you gotta be practical. Like, what are you doing? Like, people are like, do you know how hard it is to make a magazine? Like, you know how hard it is to sell a magazine, let alone, right? So there's just an energy that is really powerful in manifesting things. When I think about legacy, I just am thinking about like, okay, like community, right? And I think it's not just something that's mainly about myself or like how people are going to perceive me in the end. It's like, okay, are people going to feel uplifted?
What does the soundtrack to Zindzi's work sound like?
Whenever I'm doing anything, I have to listen to music. And I think people would be a little bit surprised though by some of the music I listen to, because I'm like a super alt, like any genre, but like slightly alt, right? I think right now I love FKA Twig.
Yeah.
But I love like Rihanna, I love Afro beats, Caribbean music. I'm loving the R&B scene right now because I feel like we're getting some really dope young people coming on the scene, and also like they're collabing with like the OGs too, so I love that. But I always have to tap into and listen to like some rock or some throwbacks. I love some like Radiohead or like I just grew up around a lot of diversity of music. Anything that's edgy is inspirational to me, because I think about being on the edge of any culture is like, okay, you're like pushing it forward.
What's next for Zindzi? As a visionary, where would you like to see yourself, or what do you think is next up?
I really want to teach one day, so I'm planning to go back to school to get a Ph.D. I do want to keep doing Zindzi, so I've definitely been putting that out there so that I can continue to grow it. And like I said, I'm shifting to do like more agency work with that. I've been in Nashville, so I'm like thinking like, okay, what can I do in Nashville, and how can I like connect these two cities that have super soulful history actually, and like really dope Black cultures. I think I've been very privileged to be able to be afforded certain opportunities, because it really is hard just to be Black and be in the art world with a capital A, right? Like it's a very elitist space, and there's a lot of barriers, but I feel like I've been really lucky, and the world is changing a lot. So I think there's more opportunities to like see a face like mine in a really high place, or just to representation in general. And then curatorially, I think also I have a lot of passions that I want to bring to the forefront there. I'm really into Afrofeminism and I've been doing a lot of like research lately and reading a lot of Black feminist writers, and I think their approach to collective care is something that I always want to embody in all the work that I do. So there's always things percolating that I have concepts around, and the ceiling is definitely like it's meant to be broken for me, and I want to continue to do that.
Do you feel like you're living in your purpose?
I think I'm living in my purpose. I think that when you're young and a person of color, that it can feel really hard and like a lot of pressure to like go, go, go. But I think just really figuring out like who you are, how you can use your skills in a way that is like fulfilling for you and for your community. I think that's really what like is the catalyst for like living in your purpose. Just being inspirational to people and like speaking life into people is my purpose. So as long as I'm doing that, I think I'm on the right track.